What's been the best part of today?
Best part of today, walking around and just seeing my guys have a smile on their face.
Any talks with the quarterbacks here?
Yeah, I was at the Manning camp with them, so just said what's up real quick, asked them how they're doing, so good to see their face again.
What did you learn specifically from the Manning camp that protected this season?
One thing that I really took from Payton was he talked about, play calling, and he said, when he still has a record for interceptions his rookie year, and he told us the reason why is because he had some plays that he wasn't comfortable with in the game plan, and his offense coordinator really wanted to call them, but he was like, how do I tell this grown man I'm a rookie that I don't like this play? So you go out there and throw a pick because you don't like the play so much. So he says, don't ever run a play that you're not comfortable with. So I really took that into account.
So individual skill set development, what's on the table for the balance of the summer? What are you going to focus on and work on through the balance of the summer to develop Sam Leavitt, the quarterback?
Yeah, I've done a lot of under center stuff, just kind of honing in my footwork, taking a couple things out of my throwing motion. I'm always looking at little things I can add, my foot placement, how my weight's transitioning, trajectory of my body along with my arm mechanics, trying to sync everything up. And put it all into rhythm. So it's really just taking it all into account: footwork, timing, rhythm, and then syncing it up. And then being able to, it's really easy to do that routes on air when you're in pads, but not to be able to do that with pads on with a rush is going to be the transition.
How's it been with Ben? Player workouts, building off a spring ball, the familiarity with that center is so important.
Yeah, from a snapping standpoint, he's gotten 10 times better. Especially since the first couple of days in spring ball, so here they are all yelling at me right now. But just super proud of him, and then he's a really smart, cerebral player, and I'm able to talk through protections on the field with him, and then we go in the film room after, and I say, hey, look, we're talking about changing the pro here, and he's like, well, this guy's blitzing. I'm like, well, if he blitzes, I'm going to throw hot off it, talking about stuff like that. So he trusts me, and I trust him, and we have an open dialogue all the time.
Clayton was talking about how because so much of this group is coming back, you can't see all the typical things you would normally see in summer camp that in many ways you're trying to necessarily learn and figure out. There's not really going to be a whole lot of that because so many guys have already experienced it like yourself. Do you feel like that you necessarily agree with that standpoint? Do you feel like that there's necessarily a line between, oh yeah, it's a new team, but at the same time, so many of us are back?
Yeah, it's not necessarily getting to know the team and the guys anymore. It's kind of just growing with them, pushing each other, learning their limits, and more of their why. You already know majority of the guys' whys and who they are as people and all that. So it's really just growing, and going through things. At the end of the day, you only have, I look to my left and I see Zay and I see him, during workouts and giving speeches and he's crying and, I'm an emotional person, so that hits my heart. To see someone like that and then you go on game day and see that just makes you want to play for them a little bit harder, makes you want to grind for them in the off season, and then it's not about you. You get an injury and you want to fold mentally. Well, guess what? Just because you having a bad day don't mean that you can make it their bad day too. So you got to go grind through that.
Sam, what's it mean to have a guy like Jordan Tyson on the perimeter for you to throw to in his caliber?
Yeah, incredible player, top tier receiver. He's going to go have, an incredible NFL career, and this season's going to be special. People see all the stuff he does from a physical standpoint, his body control, the way that he sticks, the way he catches the ball, but they don't understand the way that he feels out space. He might come out of a route early because he knows where to turn. He's really good in an option game, so the way that he goes about the process and the way that he views everything is pretty special. When you add that with his physical traits, it makes him a pretty special player.
How have you seen him elevate from last season going into this season?
Yeah, it's night and day, and I've been saying it this whole day. The way that he's went about his process from a standpoint of not only on the field but as a person, and that's helped him as a player as well because he's a professional. He's showing up to the meetings, ready to go. His hair's not looking all sloppy in the morning anymore. Didn't just roll out of bed, setting a precedence. Things along those lines that are just going to help you become a pro, and he understands that now, and he's continually progressing.
Being a preseason Heisman candidate, how have you been handling that pressure and your expectations that you have for yourself this coming season?
I really don't think it's that much pressure. Certain times it might get overwhelming, but that's what I asked for since day one. I asked to be in this position, and I put myself in this position. So, it's something I just kind of like prepared for. For me, it's been kind of like this was supposed to happen, just a matter of time. So for people that say it's too much pressure, then this wasn't the situation for you. So I'm just excited and blessed to be here.
Yeah. Xavion, the defensive expectations this year with so many returning starters, how do you feel about just being able to live up to that?
I mean, I feel like, it starts with me. I feel like it starts with me on defense. Everybody knows I'm a vocal guy, talking and things of that nature, but, really just coming out and setting the standard. I feel like we played good defense last year, but, we want to play elite defense this year. Guys like CJ Clayton, that's here, just all the guys on defense. We lost one person, so, when you get 10 guys back, it's expected some strides are expected to be made. So we definitely been pushing each other each and every day, holding each other accountable about, like I said, we played good defense last year, but let's really, invest into the details, the small things, find out why we're doing it, what we need to do and how we need to do it, and, just playing fast and physical. I think, we'll be where we want to be.
What did you guys, both of you, what did you think about the pass rush from your vantage in spring ball this year versus what you saw maybe like in August when you guys were going up against each other hard?
From me, my standpoint, defensively, all those guys. I mean, Clayton has added 15 pounds. He's running just like us, skilled guys. He's literally running with us, like times with us, and however much he weighs. Same thing with CJ. All those guys, they've really been focusing on, improving. Everybody's been focusing on improving, and the pass rush has definitely, it's playing DB. It goes hand in hand. So I love to see those guys rush the passer, and I know in practice he doesn't really like it, when they get after him, but it's pretty good.
What did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, for sure they've improved. They make some plays in the past where they wouldn't have maybe, but we've improved from an O-line standpoint as well. So, I didn't feel the pressure too much from my standpoint. Super proud of my guys. But, for them, they're going to affect other teams more.
Xavion, I asked CJ Clayton about the importance of still having the Payton Leadership Council, which you guys are obviously all representing in your suits today, and the fact that because so many of you guys are coming back, how important is it to necessarily still have that leadership that's above everyone who's already a veteran? So can you just kind of talk about how important it is to be a part of that leadership council while everyone else at the same time has kind of played the same much as you have?
Well, no one's above anyone, I would say that. Because it's days where this guy gets on me and it's days where I get on him and we all get on each other. Like, nobody's above, anybody. The leadership council is really there just to help, just to help make decisions and things of that nature. We don't run the whole team, it's nothing like that. We're just, guys that it's also voted on amongst our peers. So it's from our teammates, they're voting us on there. So they obviously believe what we have to say. They care about what we have to say. They feel like it's right somewhat sometimes, But we're just there to really kind of show the younger guys, after we leave, how it's supposed to be done, how things go, operational. Coach Dillingham does a great job, letting us be grown men and mature, helps us be in those meetings with him and make those decisions. What do you want to do? What do you feel is best? Things of that nature. So I think it's really good.
Sam, if things go well this year, this will be your final year at Arizona State?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just playing it day by day and seeing where things will end up. I'm really not thinking about that too much. However the season ends up is where I'm going to end up. So we'll see by the end
a lot
of
of
that.
first-round draft pick stuff already, so that's kind of top of mind.
Yeah.
As a stakeholder in the university, I'd like you to stay up.
I appreciate it.
Doug Tamerol, take care of that for you.
Anything else for Sam? He's got to do next one. He's got to bump to.
Yeah, do you guys talk at all about not having Cam and other guys needing to step up, or just as a team, what you guys need to do as a result of that, not having him?
I mean, maybe we talked about it in January, but we're not too worried about it. I give all props to Coach Arroyo and Coach Dillingham. They're going to have a great game plan and great process to go about this off season, and then continue that to in-season stuff. So, Scout was a great player. I'm not trying to replace him. Just got to change up a couple things.
But considering this is the first time that neither of you guys have really spoken publicly since the draft, the fact that he went to the Giants and was a part of it's not necessarily relevant to what you guys are doing today, but how just cool is it to see all the pictures and videos of just him thriving really in an NFL camp already and seeing how quickly he's fitting in with guys like Jackson Dart and others who are part part of that process?
It's great because me and Scat came here together. We were one of the first guys with Dilly. And, you know, for him to go off and get, I mean, me and him, he's had conversations with both of us too. I'm pretty sure Sam, but just talking about, you know, going to the next level and playing at the next level and getting drafted and seeing what he did after 23 seasons, coming back, how he worked, things of that nature, him changing his body, him being serious about it, and then the season that he had, you know, him cementing himself in ASU history in college football, and in college football, you know, as one of the better running backs, if not the best, you know. But I would say it's just a blessing, you know, for him and for us, you know, because he's obviously bringing attention to us, and you know, he's putting Arizona State on the map, and you know, he gets to chase his dreams and support his family as well. So I think it's great, and he's always still around. So you know, we kind of get, you know, info from him about how it is at the next level, things of that nature. So it's great.